And then they walk away and we slap them upside the back or stab them in the back. God help us. Am I right? I'm not, see? But I'm telling you, God's given us the wisdom to do this and to get it right. And along with that, some of us will recognize any minor form of taintedness that tries to come, and God will hold us responsible and accountable to stop it in the spirit realm. Now, everybody has a free will, but there will be times that people will say there's one thing and you're going to have to walk away because you know in your spirit they're not. What fellowship does light have with darkness? You know, and that place of, I'd rather hear God say, well done, than to know that I didn't hurt your feelings. And not that anybody wants to hurt anybody's feelings. Man, I'm holding this microphone way too tight. But this is serious. But it'll be so worth it. We're going to see the fruit of our labor. We're going to see it. And that joy, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing snippets of it. We're getting wind of it here and wind of it there. And some people, you know, it's just like, God, then activate my keys. Activate the keys to unlock this nation. Activate the keys that we hold of the kingdom to unlock this nation. And let us do it right. And give us wisdom. We give you permission, God, to jerk our chain. How many of us have been around other places to where what we learned, it's like parenting. We learned what we didn't want to do. God had us with works and with places that were good, awesome, being used by God. But like, now when you, who me? God, oh no, I'm staying forever. This is it, the big it. This is it. God says, But then he's like, okay, that won't go into your DNA. See, now that's not how the new's going to look. And it's not a judgmental thing. It's a growing thing. It's a defining. It's a defining inside of us all along that God's been showing us. He's been painting the picture. That's why we didn't really fit. But believe me, our fit is upon us. And it always, and always will be, his heart. We fit in his heart. So, this is what if I was going to tell you there was a title to tonight's message. I told Gilbert this morning at the kitchen table for today what little part I have. Because I enjoyed staying real quiet all these few days and just letting everybody else, but what do I do with this baby? Name the baby. Whatever. If God gives you a name, you name it. I would say, what do I do with this baby? And God is asking us, will we respect the glory? Respect is one of the biggest downfalls, has been one of the biggest downfalls in our nation. Respect and honor. Will we respect the glory? Will we give it respect? Because the glory is himself. The glory, it's no different than worshiping him. He is the glory. He is the glory. The glory is a person. It's not this like, woo, woo, woo. That's not it. That's a byproduct at times. But what if it's not there? The glory is still in you. Just like you. See, we got to get that too. That it's not about all my emotions being hyped up. If anything, I have found the glory has shut me down. That the glory presence of God, that I'm more quiet than I've ever been. I'm not so, even in my time spent with God privately, I'm not so verbiage oriented. I sit there and I stare at His face. And I just am. And I know something has been happening. You know, I'm not, and I believe in building yourself up by praying in tongues. I believe in that. But there's this deep place in God that He begins to shut you down because He's taking you into that holy, glorious darkness of His presence. And see, you wouldn't think, but there is this place in God that it's like, God, I don't even want to breathe. I don't want to say, what else is there to say except to sit here in awe of You and just behold You. We need to get a grasp on beholding. Just beholding. Silence begins to become one of the major attributes in your life. That stillness of soul and that God, I have nothing to say. I'm just going to gaze at You. I set my gaze on the prize that is set before me. And see, I think in those times He's doing such a internal work inside of us. And us charismatics, when God begins to take us into those deeps, we feel like we get the heebie-jeebies, don't we? Did that happen to you? If God's ever taken you into that, it's like, well, I should be praying in tongues, or I should be decreeing something. Oh my God, I should be doing something. Or it's like, no, just be. Because what's happening during those times, you're getting infused, but you're also acclimating yourself to sensitivity, to the Spirit of God. I think it's the highest form of worship. I really feel that silent place is the highest, deepest form of worship, where you shut out everything and you just go to shut down. And I'm not talking about mysticism or anything like that. I'm talking about you put a chair in front of you and you sit there like Jesus is in that chair and you're staring at Him. And then if your mind wanders, you go right back, Jesus. Holy God, holy God, holy God. And then all of a sudden, heaven opens up and you're in the throne room, and it's like you're in this chamber of the presence of God, and you're seeing things in another realm, and you're experiencing. Did you go after that? No. You went after Him. You didn't go after the encounter. You went after Him. So, I just feel that today my mandate was to leave you with some wisdom that this isn't the anointing. The anointing can be easy. The anointing can be cheap. But see, the glory costs us everything. It costs us everything. It changes everything. You can dabble in things in the anointing, and life can go on as usual, you know. But see, this is about being a tabernacle of the glory, where the Shekinah glory is resonating constantly out of us. I don't mean we are ever going to be off. See, now in your mind we think, how could that ever happen? I'm human. But when you lay your humanness down at the altar, you become supernatural. If you don't let that humanness be the big man, you let Spirit be big man, I'm with you. I want to see God 100% doing and being who He is. I don't want to just go to Walmart one time and raise the dead on a lettuce mission. I don't want to just see somebody get up out of a wheelchair at somebody else's meeting. We were made for this. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in us and quickens us. And that quickening force of the glory will quicken somebody else's body. See, I believe that as we begin to yield to the glory and step out and just move in that the manifestation of the glory, because we'll be doing it in faith, will begin to show up. And you'll be accused if you sell out, and you already have been probably. You'll be accused of being religious, of being too narrow-minded. Well, hey, the blood of Jesus, and yes, that's all true. But he also said, be ye holy, as I am holy. So, I think that's all I have.